Hi, thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm Saleh Waziruddin, speaking on behalf of your Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. As the Mayor said, I'm the committee chair. The problem with the proposed code of conduct for committee and task force members is in 5.3b, where it says we can no longer publicly criticize staff or council. Public criticism is in public interest. If what we say is good enough to advise you or be on a committee or task force where our meetings are public, what we say should be good enough to bring to the public's attention. I'm worried this is part of a wider trend we're seeing in Niagara, where in the name of going after something narrow and specific, we're expanding bans to be sweeping and reducing the rights of residents. This section 5.3b says we cannot, and I'm quoting, humiliate, berate, belittle, or publicly criticize staff or council. To any reasonable person, one of these four doesn't belong with the others. The first three are abusive. But public criticism does not mean abuse. It's an indispensable and irreplaceable part of any decision-making process. When this policy was being drafted, I asked the same question to the deputy clerk: which of these four does not belong with the others? It was a rhetorical question, but to his credit, the deputy clerk took the time to explain each of the terms. And on the last one, public criticism, he wrote, and I'm quoting at length here, "I agree criticism is valuable and is part of the decision-making process. But like many things, there is a scale that must be accounted for." Saying something like, quote, "the policy has some shortcomings that I think should be considered," end quote, is criticism in a respectful way and serves as a great way to have dialogue about finding solutions. Saying something like, quote, "the policy is terrible and whoever wrote it is an idiot," and I'm just quoting the deputy clerk, it's criticism that could be perceived as crossing a line into disrespectful and distracts from a positive working relationship. So that was the deputy clerk's response. So even a member of senior staff agrees criticism is, quote, valuable and a part of the decision-making process. Just because something is public criticism doesn't mean it's automatically disrespectful. And in fact, the 2019 Code of Conduct report for council as well as committees and boards had different wording that was much more specific and precise. It said, quote, refrain from publicly criticizing members of staff in relation to their intelligence, integrity, competence, or otherwise, end quote. So this is against personal abuse of individuals on staff, and that makes sense to me, but that's already covered by the first three terms in 5.3b. But expanding this to any and all public criticism is not the same thing, and I think most people can tell the difference. If joining a committee or task force means we no longer have the basic right to publicly criticize, a lot of people who believe they have useful, important things to say probably won't even apply to join. We're only going to attract yes people who are just here to pad their resumes, looking for ways to make themselves more acceptable to the rich and powerful, instead of saying things that need to be said, even if they displease the rich and powerful, because they help improve the lives of the rest of us. So please take out the sweeping and broad ban on public criticism from 5.3b of the proposed code of conduct for us, the residents you appointed to advise you. The rest of 5.3b covers the intent. Thank you.